Leaders of the eThembezinhle faction of the Nazareth Baptist Church are seeking legal advice and state intervention to remove the leader of the rival eBuhleni faction, Vusi Shembe, from occupying the church headquarters and temples. Yesterday, there were clashes between the two. A sheriff was attacked when he went to serve papers on Vusi Khumalo. Our reporter, Vusi Khumalo, is covering the story for us. Let's cross to him live now. Vusi, a very good morning to you. What is happening now after yesterday's incident?
Good morning, Desiree, as well as to the viewers at home. Yes, indeed, we are at Inanda. This is Inanda area north of Durban, which is populated by the Nazareth Baptist Church followers. We've got quite a lot of people here, especially at Inanda area, who are the churchgoers of Nazareth Baptist Church, otherwise known as Shembe. Yes, indeed, since 2011, the death of the former leader of the church, Shembe Church, there has been problems with regards to the leadership of the church, but that was not the first. The first split of the church it came as a result of the death of Shembe in 1976. So in 2011, with the death of Prophet Shembe, there was a problem with regards to the leadership tussle that went to court, with one faction emerging out as eThembezinhle faction. We are told at the time that Shembe was nominated by the late leader Vimbeni in the year 2011. We understand, as from the court, there was the bone of contention was the deed of nomination, of which it emerged out in court that in the year 2000, the late Vimbeni Shembe, the leader of the then leader, drew up a deed of nomination nominating Shembe as his successor. But in 2011, when he died, during his funeral, Zwelabantu Buthelezi, who was his lawyer, took to the podium and also announced that actually Vimbeni Shembe nominated his cousin Shembe to take over the reins of the church. But there was a twist. On the very same day of the funeral service, Inkosi Mqoqi Ngcobo, who presides over eBuhleni area, which also has the headquarters of the church, announced Shembe's nephew, that was Vusi Khumalo, who also went to court saying that he's the one who should be the successor of his father with regards to the church. Well, that matter, the litigation matter, took about 8 years in trial. It went to Durban High Court, whereby Shembe emerged out victorious. But Vusi Khumalo also appealed the matter. It went to Pietermaritzburg, and the Pietermaritzburg also upheld that ruling from the Durban High Court. But after that, Vusi Khumalo lost that one. He appealed the matter in the Supreme Court of Appeal in Bloemfontein, where the Supreme Court of Appeals also upheld the Pietermaritzburg High Court's ruling that Shembe is the one who should be leading this church of Baptist Nazareth Baptist Church, Nazareth Baptist Church, known as Shembe. Well, with me to talk us about some of the things that happened yesterday, and also we understand that you had a difficulty of taking over, since the court ruled last week that you should be taking over eBuhleni, which is the headquarters of the church. We understand that there was a difficulty in that, but maybe what is the way forward? We understand you're also trying to seek a legal advice on how to approach this matter so that you can take over as what the courts last week pronounced.
Thank you. As you have mentioned that the court gave a decision. Our way forward yesterday, as you said, it was just to preempt the entry of eBuhleni by sending our guards in there to check if the headquarters and its properties are properly maintained. And there was that resistance. Well, the next step we have to take now is go back to our attorneys and find out the legal way, as well as, because we are not in war with the situation as such. We are expecting, of course, that resistance, but let's us use the law rather than our arms, as we are not aiming at fighting people, because although it's our right at the moment given by the High Court of Supreme Court of South Africa, but we may not use that. All we need is peace and our entry to be perfectly okay. As soon as our legal advisor advises us what to do, then we will take that step, which we'll hope it will give peace, and of course we will be allowed by law to come in without any fight.
Tell us, what is it that you want from, or understand that you had a difficulty in entering there. What is it that you want from the eBuhleni? You want the whole palace, or what is it? What is the main thing?
As a church, as you mentioned earlier, that Dr. M.V. Shembe, the late leader, previously, when he nominated and appointed a leader, he appointed a leader on eBuhleni premises, which belongs to the church itself. So the church leader being there and eBuhleni premises being there, they belong to the church. So it is our legal right, the legal right of the exact leader to go back to the premises of the church and leads from there.
What does the court's ruling say?
Of course, it was the judge in Durban, I think it was 2016 or so, or earlier than that. All the papers that were laid before him approved that eBuhleni belonged to the church, not to anyone else individually. So that is where the leader will go, with all the other places which belong to the church. Definitely, that is the church's properties.
But we understand that there was a strong resistance yesterday, and also we understand that a sheriff that was serving papers, court papers, reminding the leader Vusi Khumalo to vacate the palaces and homes, was also attacked in some instances. In those two instances, one area was Melmoth and the other one was here at Nanda area. How do you think that will unfold? You said that you want it peacefully. How do you think this will unfold, given the resistance that is coming from the other faction?
Definitely, I think the law will take its course on that one, because we never did send on our own the sheriff to do all whatever was done, and if they did that, they must have done that to the government, because it was the court that gave the sheriff that right to deliver the letter. We hope the law will also look into that, and of course stability must be prevailing there.
And also we understand the police also had a difficulty in when they were accompanying the sheriff there here at Inanda area. We understand there was a strong resistance. Do you think this will eventually come to fruition in the way you like?
I think the law will take its course on that, because it's not us as the church that will look into that, because we are also looking for peace, and I believe the law also looks for peace. I hope something will prevail on that one.
Okay, thanks a lot. That's that's Preacher Chenzi SABC, who's the Secretary General of the Nazareth Baptist Church, otherwise known as Shembe, saying that they were also hoping that they will resolve this matter peacefully, because as from yesterday we saw a strong resistance from the faction of eBuhleni when the sheriff, accompanied by police, also met some resistance there, trying to serve court papers, reminding Vusi Khumalo, who's the leader of the eBuhleni, that he should vacate the office, and also maybe not to use some of the properties and assets of the church worth millions of rands. Well, it's starting to rain. It's been raining here, but as soon as we got to our interview, it started to rain and also pour very, 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 very hard on us. Well, I'm going to leave it here, but at the moment, maybe if I can ask our camera person, Niresh Singh, to pen through so that you can see the amount of the security guards who are currently guarding or keeping a close eye on the proceedings here at this home of Vusi Khumalo. That's the home, that's the headquarters of the eThembezinhle faction leader of the late leader of Vela Shembe, who died in 2016, who died in 2017, immediately after he won the matter in Durban High Court. Well, that's for us here in Durban. Well, it's quite it's raining here. Let me also maybe try to ask Niresh. I don't know if you can see the home of the Vusi Khumalo temple. That's where the headquarters of the eThembezinhle faction is based here in KZN at Inanda area. Well, for now, let's get back to you in the studio.
Well, that's really troubling how the story just never comes to a conclusion. Thank you so much for that update, Vusi Khumalo.